it's good because Josh Allen's there. Don't get me wrong, I'd be very excited to coach with Josh Allen. But the guy outgoing, Sean McDermott, he had 7 consecutive seasons of 10-plus wins. He had 6 seasons of winning a playoff game, and ownership just told you that's not good enough. That's very challenging, I think, for a first-year coach to step into. It also is the case that the other guy who had a big hand in the Bills' failures, general manager Brandon Beane, got a promotion as a part of this firing. He's the president of football in Buffalo. You got to report to this guy now, and it's pretty clear he's got a lot of the power in that organization. McDermott and Beane disagreed on a lot of stuff. Number one was pass rush, right? They added so many players to the defensive line over the course of their time together in Buffalo. Just this offseason, Michael Hoyt and Joey Bosa in free agency, 3 of their first 4 picks, all on the defensive line, and yet they only pressured Bo Nix on 20% of his dropbacks in this game. It was the worst of all 15 of their playoff games. If you can't get after the passer, you can't win in the postseason. It's a big part of why McDermott's gone. Defensively, they just never had the juice in the front 4. But overall, I think Brandon Beane owns a much bigger part of that pie, a much bigger slice of it than people are acknowledging. And this is not a Joe Shane situation where John Harbaugh kind of steps in and retakes overall of football. No, Beane is still clearly the most powerful guy in Buffalo. That would turn me very off from this job.
Benjamin Solak of ESPN. Jeremy and Joe, good morning, everybody. Hi, how are you? We're hanging out. We'll be here late today, putting in a long shift. We should, guys, we should order like a pizza or something, right? Nice little 10 a.m. pizza.
Breakfast pizza?
Not a breakfast pizza. Not a breakfast pizza.
Because he refuses to eat an egg in his
Just a
entire life.
10 a.m. pizza, not a breakfast pizza.
Man, he's never had a good breakfast pizza.
That's because I don't like breakfast pizza.
Have you actually had breakfast pizza, though?
No, I don't.
Well, that's what I mean.
I don't like.
No.
Well, eggs I find gross.
Really?
Okay. Oh, Joe Kelly doesn't know this?
No,
I don't like eggs. I just don't like eggs.
He's Al Michaels with vegetables. Just doesn't touch them, ever.
I try them like once every 2 years, and I do not like eggs.
See, though, like sometimes, like I don't really like tomatoes, but I like ketchup. Like sometimes the ingredient can work.
I don't like eggs,
else.
but I like cake.
And
cookie dough.
Sure.
Do you eat mayo on anything?
Very little. Little.
Is that because you know there's eggs in it?
No, I just don't really like mayo. You give me a spicy mayo, I'll put that on it.
All right.
On something.
Have you tried all styles of eggs? Nothing works?
Nothing. Nothing works.
Interesting.
Nope. Not a fan. So no breakfast pizza. Just pizza at 10 a.m.
Pizza.
We'll get 2 pizzas. We'll get a breakfast pizza for you and a regular pizza for me. Which one did you rather eat?
You know, right now the breakfast pizza with some bacon and a little bit of hot sauce over the top sounds like it could beat an 8 a.m. pepperoni pizza.
Sounds good.
We'll get that for you. Well, it's going to be 10 a.m., like 10:30.
Or 10 a.m., right.
Rich in Lakeview. Rich, good morning.
Hey, let me jump into that before we get going. Listen, the other Buffalo supermarket chain that doesn't begin with W doesn't do much well, but they've perfected the breakfast pizza, Jeremy. As the kids in high school say, the other chain without advertising for them, their breakfast pizza slaps, and if you didn't know there were eggs on there, there wouldn't be. So, and I'm not a breakfast pizza guy, but they won me over. So just putting that stuff in from a former not breakfast pizza guy, even the gas station version of it slaps.
No, everyone that's had breakfast pizza knows exactly what you're talking about and knows that you are 1,000% correct. Yeah. They're great at it.
So today, 10 a.m., no matter what is spoken, no matter what is said, I have a difficult time believing anything that comes out of one Bills drive. There's a multitude of reasons. I mean, I know you said the McDermott video was emotional, was well done. Guys, this is a social media group that has come up with that serial Thurman Thomas and Dolphin Kincaid that is intricately woven with every pop culture reference that even makes it. And they do that 27 seconds after a game is done using references from the game. So it's puppeteered, everything that's going on. Petulant with Beane, and I know you guys probably can't say so much, the infamy of his, but he seems like that kid on the old Twilight Zone that if you don't agree with him and what we're finding out about the roster construction, if you don't agree with me, you can say what you want, but I'm going to wish you away into the cornfield. And that's exactly what happened to McDermott. Whether it's right or wrong, I've been on the we have to do something different train, but again, look at the Sabres. The Sabres struggled for 14 years. What was the big move? They changed the game presentation, guy, what we see on TV. All right? So now we get this pseudo Manning cast that former players talk over goals. It's the game presentation. In between periods, it's Facebook Marketplace. You have guys that are on air after losing streaks tell you it's great to have 3 goalies because, we have one to carry the equipment after a game all the time. So whatever their spin's going to be, I just comes off as disingenuous. Will it be great? They open the stadium, they go on a heater, they win. Will Sean McDermott become a footnote in history? But I just feel for Sean, that stadium's going to open, and it's going to be like your wife's new boyfriend driving the truck you still pay for in the divorce settlement.
Yeah,
I mean, it's terrible, and I just think this whole press conference is going to be nothing more than the Jedi mind trick. And unfortunately, in a small market, I think they can get away with it.
Thanks, Rich. The Cliff Notes there is like Beane has an image problem, and he has an image to repair, which, I mean, I don't know what the Bills are going to do about that, right? But he definitely has an image to repair with the fans.
Yeah, I mean, all you can really do about that is you make moves, and then you win. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, you say, it doesn't matter what they think about me. It matters what results I get on the field, and results will lead to people thinking that I'm whatever. Like, I don't know what they want to do about it. That's people ask, I got a bunch of, has he come on your station since then? The answer is yes. We talked to him the day they signed James Cook to an extension at training camp.
Yeah, like it had just happened.
Yeah, and it was fine. It was fine. Like, there were no hard feelings carried through what happened, at least on our end. Just kind of like, all right. I mean, I disagreed, of course, still. In the moment, it felt like it was pretty intense. And then, all right, it's okay to spar. It's okay to disagree. It's okay to do all that stuff. But I reading, hearing, online, whatever, it's definitely clear. They probably know, whether it's national people. Also, I've got Beane getting mocked by people that I wouldn't expect to mock him. Like on the Pat McAfee show, McAfee kind of laughs when Bruce Arians says they don't have any players. He's like, yeah, that's right. Like, so, the league is kind of taking its shot at the idea that they are stocked with players, and they're trying to sell the idea that they do. Then again, like, if you want to flip the other side of this, because Carl Jones, I thought, made a good point on Twitter about, the Patriots roster is not elite, and they're one game away from the Super Bowl. And how much of that is Vrabel? How much of that is a little bit of luck? Right? Carl from Channel 4, who we talk to from time to time. And I thought, when's the last time the Bills overachieved in terms of how far they went? And the answer to that is they really don't, because their achievement is the Super Bowl. Right. Their proper bar has been set very, very high at the Super Bowl. Did they overachieve defensively this year? I could make the case, given the roster that they had, that defensively they did an incredible job and they overachieved on that side of the ball. But head coach overseeing everything didn't get them to a spot where they overachieve. And Vrabel in year one has overachieved. And I think Vrabel multiple years in Tennessee did overachieve with Ryan Tannehill as well. So, if you're talking just CEO or whatever, pick your business. There is going to be some luck involved. If this Patriots team had to run into one of the 3 or 4 Chiefs teams the Bills ran into, would they win? Would they advance? I don't think so.
Right.
But they don't have to run into that team, and neither did the Bills. And the Bills still found their way to miss.
They also still have more work to do. Like, I think they will beat Denver. But if they didn't, then suddenly, like, you look at that and say, well, it's kind of the same thing then, right? Like, you've made it to an AFC championship game. That loss would be worse than any of the Bills ones.
If they lose to Jarrett Stidham, it would be viewed as worse, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But they still have to do it. And they're only, a 5-point favorite? Like, it's not a massive, massive difference. It's not 10. It's not 12. So, like, I agree with the fact that their roster is, like, on par with what this Bills roster is right now. And that Vrabel has overachieved more than McDermott has. McDermott, you probably would only say that about the first year he was here, right? 9-7 with that roster. Yep. You were kind of tearing it down, and you made the playoffs. Like, that was overachieving. But like you said, there is no such thing as overachieving ever again when Allen becomes as good as he was. So now Vrabel, like, this is his only chance to overachieve. Every year after this, because you have Drake May. Like, really, it's a lot of it is just the quarterback. You overachieve because what? Your quarterback was Ryan Tannehill, and what was the bar for you to clear? Make the playoffs and win one playoff game.
Yeah, and then we think you're a genius.
Now you're overachieving.
Yeah.
But it's a whole nother ball game when you are playing with an elite franchise quarterback. And if he now has that in Drake May and goes and wins the Super Bowl, then you're going to be able to say that about Vrabel. But he's got 2 more games to do that, and I think they'll beat Denver, but I'm not assuming they'll beat Denver.
It's the built-in curse and gift of having Josh Allen. When you have Josh Allen, no one else gets credit. How many people have said, like, get another coach? I'm sure they would win 12 games. Like, that's probably right.
Right.
Get another GM. I bet they win 12 games. Mm-hmm. No one is allowed to get credit other than the quarterback. They kind of built their offense. They built their passing game. Like, no one's allowed to get credit.
Really, like, right. You can't get credit, but you can avoid blame. Like, would be the way that I would think about it.
Yeah.
You can avoid blame even while Allen is going to win you 11, 12 games, almost no matter what you do. And that, to me, is what everybody's been sparring over this week, is it feels like maybe you don't want to give McDermott credit for them, you know, being a 5-time AFC East champion and making the playoffs all these years because you have Josh Allen, and there probably are a few coaches that would be able to accomplish the same thing. But when you're looking at these seasons and seeing how they end in fourth quarters, then it's, okay, he got you here, and now what is happening that is causing this to not get all the way through? Mm-hmm. And I just don't see many arguments for this season in particular that would lead you to believe that McDermott was the one that stopped you from doing it.
But I guess maybe if you're the GM and you've thought this for 3 years, now's your chance. Like,
right. And it makes the timing odd, but again, that's why I said yesterday, I think if you look at the bigger scope of 9 years of McDermott in 13 seconds and all of it together, it's much more sellable than just looking at this past season.
Right.
I mean, you want the big stops, the one quote in Tyler's piece from yesterday about you want the stop from the defensive coach. You went into overtime.
And got it.
And they got the ball first, and you got the stop.
Yep.
Not
even the field goal stop.
No,
just a punt.
stop.
Just a punt.
Here you go, offense.
Sudden death, win the game.
Here's my gift to you as your defense. Field goal to win the football game. That's it.
Right.
It's the thing that they got that they couldn't do in the 13-second game. That it's a totally different offense. I understand that.
Also,
Bo Nix.
They also lost a coin toss in that game.
And they lost a coin toss in that game. But like that's the stop you've been waiting for. He gave it to you in back-to-back playoff games, and this is the week he got fired. And that, I think, is what makes the timing a little bit strange.
It'll also be interesting to hear what Beane has to say about the officiating in that call. Because if he says, I think it was a catch, so you feel like you should have won?
Right.
Like,
because then again, if that was ruled a catch, what would the last drive we saw of McDermott been?
A stop.
The last half. They scored 1 touchdown, I think, on 7 drives in the second half in overtime, or on 6 drives. Like, really, what we'd be looking at today, that's what's kind of amazing about him being gone right now, is everyone was giving him total credit for the Jaguars game, and Brett Coleman saying he was in his bag, and all the people looking at film like, I can't believe McDermott did this to the Jaguars passing game, and got a lot of credit for that. And then they would have allowed 30 points, but 6 were gifted by the offense and 2 touchdowns gifted by practice squad defensive backs. We'd be sitting here at the end of the game after this week and saying, hey, beat the Jaguars, and then he got you the stop in overtime, and he did it again in the second half, and now we're going to the AFC Championship game. In big part, because his defense showed up. But the offense made his defense have to go out there one more time.
One more question, and we'll get to a break, and then more of your phone calls. We're pretty open today. When and does he have to speak, Josh Allen?
Does he legally? Does he
have to talk?
By rule have to speak? I know the GM has to, and the coach is supposed to, but they don't have a coach.
Does Allen?
But I don't know about the quarterback.
Do you feel like he has a duty to speak? He has not done the postseason thing. And they changed the coach, the only coach he ever had.
The only duty would be, I guess, does he feel an obligation to not let it become a thing that he didn't talk?
Right. Like,
because I think for months into the offseason, we'll remember you didn't say anything.
He'll have to address it at minicamp? Like, or
OTAs or wherever. We would hear from him.
Like
Is it Super Bowl week? Like, is he doing an interview there?
Right. What's the plan for him? 803-0550. You can give us a ring, 1-888-550-2550. When we get back, that fun little trivia topic, and more of your phone calls here on WGR.